Let's let this run a few seconds just to see if the stream is going. Seems to be going. Okay, yes. So lately I've been having fun with new jets. It's the summer sale, I guess, for DCS, so I tried the MiG-21, and since it wasn't very expensive, I got that. And I had already pre-purchased the F-15, so that was my last video trying to show some of the things I was learning with that one. And today, I guess, I don't know, didn't have enough, I wanted more. I got the Mirage F-1 as well. So I've learned some of the basics, I've configured my controls, and really I'm going to just do a basic flight where I take off from H3 in an Iraqi Mirage F-1. I think the Iraqis had the EQ version, and so the model that's being used to sort of replicate that is the CE version. I know like DCS, like the company urges that makes the Mirage F-1 have made the EE version also that's more recent, and they plan on releasing possibly 2 other versions. But anyways, this I just thought would be fun to try to pretend I'm an Iraqi pilot who's flying this for one of the very first times, and he just wants to take off, fly around, do a pattern, land, see how that goes. And so with my basic knowledge of the plane, we're going to go try that. So let's just make sure I'm in the right place. Yes, yes. Start. So there we go. As I said, it's a CE instead of an EQ. I've parked a few EQs there to make it look more authentic, but parked planes I was talking about earlier, just put them there as nice decorations. We're on the airfield at H3. There are like 3 of them, I think, if we look on the map. We're in the middle one there. So that is what we're doing. And this is like the office for the Mirage F-1. You've got this thing that prevents the sun from blinding you on the screen for the radar. I think with that little thing there's a way you can remove it, and there's a way to remove it in the editor, but I'm leaving it there for now since I probably won't even be using it. I have mapped some of the controls for it, and if I do that, for example, I can change my radar ranges, I can move my cursor around like this, but I really won't be needing it all that much. So there. But that's the cockpit. This is what I'm going to be using to determine where I'm going. Got your big artificial horizon, your altitude, your speed here. And so these are the RPMs for the engine. This is the landing gear. All 3 are lit, so it's down. And one of the things I don't want to forget before takeoff will be to bring the flaps for takeoff position. So if I look on the wing, you can see the front flaps have gone down, the slats. And on the picture here, you see that the flap has gone down 1 notch. If it's there, it's going to be the landing position, but this is the takeoff position. And if we look outside, we can see that we have a little bit of flap there. And on the front of the wing, the slats are down as well, which will give us a little bit of lift. And so that's what my Iraqi plane looks like. And I guess to add to how immersive it can be, you can actually bring down your helmet visor just like so. There you go. So you do have like a little bit of protection from the sun. In the outside view, it looks like it's always down, but as the pilot, you have that option. The Mirage 2000C had that option too as a module. So it's a nice little touch. So I guess we'll be ready to taxi. So let's try this. And we're moving. to go to the end of the runway to have as much runway as possible. Trying not to go too fast because this plane can tip. I've watched a Grim Reaper video to help set up my control, and he actually demonstrated the airplane tipping over while taxiing if you tried to do stupid maneuvers. So here I'm just using like the regular turn rate of the nose wheel, but just like the F-18 you can activate a nose wheel that's a little bit more responsive, but this is good enough for me for takeoff. So I'm gonna get ready here. So apparently what you need to do is bring your RPMs to like 70, and then you release the brakes and bring it to full afterburner. Once my speed over here is going to reach about 120, I'm going to bring the nose up to bring my angle of attack, which is shown by this scale here, to about 10-12. And basically once I reach a certain speed, the plane will just want to take off on its own. So I'll just have to keep it steady while we do that. And one of the things about the landing gears, it has this little stop thing here. So you gotta open that so you're gonna be able to get the gear up. So let's try all that. As you can see, the HUD is pretty simple. Doesn't have that much info, but some of it can be useful, I guess. And so let's try this. So I'm gonna engage my wheel brakes. We're gonna bring the RPM up and let her rip. There we go. Full throttle now. PC for bus combustion, which is afterburner in French. And so we're getting to that speed where I'm gonna pull on the stick, try to give it some angle of attack there. And as you can see, slowly it wants to rise. At this point I'm going to get the gear up. I'm going to bring the flaps up. There we go. Looks like I've got a clean configuration. Down a bit. Use my trim to stabilize it. This looks pretty good. So as you can see, you almost need a track IR to be able to check your compass here, because otherwise if you just look down, it's kind of difficult. So right now we're heading at 290. Try to go in the opposite direction, so I'll start a left turn. We're already at 450 knots. You can see the runway there where we took off. Already we can start slowing down. I'm going to show you something in the outside view. When you get the air brakes out, let's get these labels off. When you get the air brakes out, you actually have to hold it, and you see they progressively come out. And if I let go, they're going to come back in. And if I press again, they go further out. They come back in. Press again, they go out. So that's pretty interesting. So this is my airfield. I'm now on my downwind leg because I'm going to attempt a landing. Kind of like the altitude at which where I am right now. If I look at the speed, I'm just at 300. I'm going to slow down to about 250 with my air brakes. And then I'm going to start my left turn. And we're going to start configuring for landing. I'm going to give it first level of flaps at 250. At this point I can get the gear down. We're going to watch for our 3 little lights here. There we go. All 3 are green. And we are in the first stages of the flaps. So I'm going to go full flaps. And that's going to be the landing configuration for them. So as you can see here, they're fully down. And there's one more thing that I saw him do is turn that switch on there. I could maybe zoom in, but what that does is you see in the HUD that yellow square, that's like your velocity vector. So when you land, you want to put that more or less at the threshold of the runway. And then you start slowing down. As you can see, I'm trying to maintain it there. Just change my seat position a little bit so I can see better. I don't want too much angle of attack, so playing with my speed, my angles. Flare just a tad, and we're gonna touch down. There we go. It's a bit squirrely on landing, and they recommend that you use the brakes and the parachute, so that's what I'm doing now. As you can see, I'm just trying to keep it straight, pumping the brakes once in a while. What does that look like on the outside? Well, looks like a plane that just landed with the chute out. Didn't break anything on it. And if I want to get rid of that parachute, I can do that. And you can see that now it's on the runway. So I'm going to taxi back to where I started. And I'm going to go park next to those other Mirage. It will give me a chance to demonstrate that nose steering thing. The nose wheel steering, more sensitive setting. So here we're off the runway. I'm going to clean up our configuration for the flaps and everything. There we go. As we can see here, it's all nice and clean. On the outside we can see the flaps are back up, the slats in the front too. And now if I go like full rudder right, that's about as fast as I can turn. But if I press my nose wheel steering, I can turn that fast. You can see that because I'm not moving very quickly, I can have more precise movement. this is pretty quick. When you're just like doing the regular taxiing like this, you don't need to be super sensitive, but when I go to park, it'll be useful to have the ability to turn on a dime. Around the Syria map, it's got quite a few nice details. Because of the wall we can't see them, but behind me the reason why I was looking is that there are some old trainer planes that are sort of trashed there. It's kind of funny. And here we should be able, yeah, if I zoom in like that over there, you see the park mirages that I had put there earlier, so we're gonna go join them. Imagine the Iraqi pilot who just made his first flight in this state-of-the-art plane in 1982. Gonna brake here, gonna turn. Again, it's not super fast, but I can change that. There. If I turn the nose wheel steering to the more sensitive setting, I can go much faster like this, but let's not flip the plane over. Hey, there's a fuel truck there. Let's go park close to that one. Alright, let's turn on a dime right here. There we go. And that should make it kind of nice. Let's see outside how it looks. That's pretty good. Sort of in line with the other ones. And so one of the things I noticed too is like when you do the auto stop sequence, because I'm a bit lazy, at the end of it, you'll see my pilot remove his helmet, put it on the side, and it's like the ground crew comes and puts the ladder on, and they give you the wheel chucks, because you can't ask for wheel chucks like some of the other modules. You only get them after the plane is turned off. And within the cockpit, like when you do that sequence, you see all those lights light up one after the other. And then, as you can hear, the engine is spooling down, cockpit's opening up. And my pilot's going to put his helmet right here. I'm going to show you in the outside view. So he's got the helmet on the side. The ladder is there. The wheel chucks are on the rear wheels. And he actually looks like an Iraqi. I mean, he's got the darker skin tone that would fit with the geography. So I thought that was a pretty cool little feature. And the jet looks really nice. You can see it's very detailed. Looks very good. The landing gear detail is pretty amazing. The textures, you can see that there's little bits of indications of panels and that might have been worn a bit, and really looking pretty good. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed my little takeoff and landing video.